Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'm looking for... there's Rabbi Viva right next to me in the Zoom. I hope that everyone is feeling wonderful tonight. This is something new for us at Temple Sinai, of course, doing a real Zoom with the kahal, with the congregation. So I'm going to see all is well.
Okay. I think I'm
there we go.
unmuted. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, Rabbi Viva.
Oh, fantastic.
Shabbat
Okay.
Shalom.
So welcome and Shabbat Shalom. I'm Rabbi Aviva Bass.
I'm Cantor Jake Harris.
And we are so happy to be here with you from Temple Sinai of Palm Beach County in Delray Beach, Florida. So as Cantor Jake was about to tell you, this is a little bit of an experiment tonight. Usually the only ones of us who are on Zoom are Jake and myself and Mason, who is our tech guy. And it's just the three of us. And then we're live Zooming into a YouTube live. But tonight we've opened up the Zoom to people in the congregation, members and their families and friends that they have invited to join us for our service. And then if they wish to do so, to join us for our first virtual oneg, which will begin at 8:30. So some people are going to be joining us during the service. Some people will choose just to join us for that 8:30 virtual oneg. And people will be popping in periodically. So we haven't done this before. So there's a little bit of technical issues about people popping in. People may be accidentally unmuted who shouldn't be. We may get a little background noise. We may see faces that shouldn't be there during the service part. But after the service, we're going to all have an opportunity to see one another and to speak with one another. So if you are popping in now and you see that your face is on the screen, if you could take your video off. I'm not sure if you are permitted to turn on your sound, but if you are, please do not unmic during the service. And we'll see what happens. Hopefully this will go really well and we'll enjoy ourselves as well. So let's start with a song. So Cantor Jake.
Well, I think so far, Rabbi Aviva, it's already going well because we're here and it's Shabbat. I mean, what more could we ask for?
Absolutely.
Except for smooth technological stuff.
Absolutely.
But, that's not in our hands. So Shalom Aleichem, we're going to turn to. We're going to sing together Shalom Aleichem. So if you have a Mishkan to feel it with you, it's going to be on page 140. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boechem leshalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni leshalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Thank you, Cantor Jake. And now I'd like to invite our honorees who are assisting us with candles and Kiddush tonight, Charlie and June Knopf, to join us in honor of their 47th wedding anniversary this week. So happy anniversary to Charlie and June, and they're going to lead us in candles and Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
Vayerev vayhi boker yom hashishi vayechulu hashamayim v'haaretz vayachal tzivam vayachal Elohim bayom hashvi melachto asher asa vayishpot bayom hashvi mikol melachto asher asa vayevorech Elohim es yom hashvi Vayikadesh oto, Kivo Shabbat Mikol Malachto, Asher Boro Elohim La'asos. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Borei Peri Hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher kitshanu v'tzosa b'rotzavanu, V'Shabbat kodsho b'ahava v'rotzon, In kilanu zikaron l'maseh b'reishit. Ki hu yom tehila lemikrai kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, ki bonu vorcharto, ve'otanu kidashto mikol ha'amim, ve'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava v'ratzon, in kaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh hashabbat.
Amen.
Amen. L'chaim. Thank you so much, Charlie and June. That was beautiful. Ah, and you kissed
Yeah.
like a chatan and kala, like you've just been newly married after 47 years. May you always feel the love that is beaming right now towards us in this Shabbat glow of the candles. Shabbat shalom to you and happy anniversary. Mazel tov.
Thank you.
And now I'd like to announce a few donations who are people who are sponsoring tonight's festivities as well as tomorrow and for our food pantries. Tonight's Erev Shabbat service is sponsored by Lori and Steve Tamber in memory of their mothers, Charlotte Nelson and Esther Tamber, Donna and Larry Lopater in memory of Debbie Stevens Santa Romita, Zichrona Libraha. Our Saturday, December 26th, Shabbat Torah study tomorrow, which will happen at noon, it happens every week at noon, is sponsored by Lori and Steve Tamber, again, in memory of their mothers, Charlotte Nelson and Esther Tamber, Sandy Lehner, in memory of Debbie Stevens Santa Romita, Zichrona Libraha, and June and Charles Knopf in honor of their 47th wedding anniversary. Happy anniversary once again. The following donations to the community food pantries are sponsored by Marcia Weber in memory of Grace Lichtman, Sherry and Bruce Heller in memory of Marilyn Heller, Joyce Ross in memory of Jack Miller, Lois Astern in memory of Norma Ettish, and Lori and Steve Tamber in memory of their mothers, Charlotte Nelson and Esther Tamber, Marilyn and Steve Carter in memory of Joseph Yankowitz and Elsie Carter, Ethel Greenblatt in memory of Esther Gottlieb, Barbara Strassman in memory of Gertrude Gruberg, the Benot Mitzvah class of 5781 in memory of Debbie Stevens Santa Romita, who was a member of that community, of that group of women, and Lynn Birkin in memory of Jane Karp. So for all of those who we are remembering at this time. Zichronam livracha, may all of their memories be a blessing and a legacy that we live through our lives. And all of you who have sponsored in their names and in their memories are doing so. So thank you. We're going to begin our service now with the call to worship on page 146, the Barchu.
Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Please be seated. As we turn to page 150 for Ahavat Olam, Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Havta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Al ken Adonai Eloheinu B'shochbeinu v'kumeinu Nasiach b'chukecha V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha U'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed Ki heim chayenu ve'orech yameinu ve'orech yameinu Uvahem neged yomam v'layla Ve'avatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael.
We continue now on page 152 with the Shema. Please join me. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. For those who are standing, please take a seat as we continue with Ve'ahavta on the following page. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavacha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'aderech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot ayadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha וכתבתם המזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם Adonai Elohechem Emet. The next prayer is a hope and a wish and an aspiration and a petition that God surrounds all of those who are in need of comfort with that sheltering presence that we all could use and need right now. It is the Hashkivenu. Please join Cantor Jake as he leads us in this prayer.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomrenu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomrenu lechaim. Ushmor tzetenu uvoenu lechaim ulshalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomrenu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomrenu lechaim. Ve'hamidenu shomrenu lechaim. Ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Baruch atah Adonai haporeh sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim.
In a moment, we will begin together the tefillah, and we will have some time for some silent meditation or prayer after the third of the brachot that Cantor Jake will lead us in. During that time, sometimes we let our minds wander. We think about something that has occurred to us in the past week, something we want to hold on to, or something we want to release. Tonight, I have a particular poem that spoke to me, and I hope that it speaks to some of you as well. It's not in your prayer book. It's called Where Can We Find God? And it's from Rabindranath Tagore, and it was translated and adopted from his work. Where will I find God, whose glory fills the universe? I find God wherever the farmer plows a furrow through the hard soil, wherever the quarryman pounds the stone to gravel, wherever one earns her bread by the sweat of her brow, in the company of the friendless, the afflicted, the lonely, and the lost. There God abides in sun and shower. I find God wherever the mind is free to follow its own bent, wherever words come out from the depth of truth, wherever tireless striving stretches its arms toward perfection, wherever people struggle for freedom and right, wherever the scientist toils to unbear the secrets of nature, wherever the poet strings pearls of beauty in lyric lines, wherever glorious deeds are done. I find God in the merry shouts of children at play, in the lullaby the mother sings, rocking her baby to sleep, in the slumber that falls on the infant's eyelids, and in the smile that plays on his sleeping lips. I find God when the dawn comes with her golden cornucopia, or when evening falls, bringing peace and rest from the western ocean of rest. God is in the joy that streams from heaven with the morning light, in the current of life that courses day and night through my sinews and through all nature, in the life that throbs exultant in the dust of the earth and through the blades of grass innumerable, and that flows in a multitude of tempestuous waves through the leaves and flowers. I find God in the wealth of those passing delights that live but for a moment, in the pulse beat of a life that comes from eternity and dances in my own blood, in birth that keeps renewing the generations, and in death that keeps knocking on the doors of life. We begin the tefillah on page 164.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agit tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomelcha חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד. כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד. והעיקר לא לפחד, לא לפחד כלל, והעיקר לא לפחד כלל, והעיקר לא לפחד, לא לפחד כלל, והעיקר לא לפחד כלל. כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד. כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד. והעיקר לא לפחד, לא לפחד כלל, והעיקר לא לפחד כלל, והעיקר לא לפחד, לא לפחד כלל, והעיקר לא לפחד כלל.
We now come to the time in our service when we pray for those who are in need of healing, healing of body, mind, spirit, or of all three. So if you have someone or more than one person that you are thinking of now who is in need of such healing, please say their names aloud now. So for all of those whom we have named now and all of those that we know of who are named on the screen that you will see in just a moment, we sing together Debbie Friedman's Mishaberach. And if you know it, please join me. Mishaberach avotenu bekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu bekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. As we begin to finally finish with this crazy year of 2020, I've been doing a lot of thinking about my life's journey so far and how this year fits into it. I use the term life's journey intentionally, as my life has involved many actual travels. I've traveled as a visiting rabbi to Australia and New Zealand, and have served as a rabbi everywhere from Georgia to Washington State to Colorado, and now back to my home where I intend to stay, the land of my upbringing, sunny South Florida. And those of you who are cold, remember that it was much colder up north, and it still is right now. As I reflect on my life, personally and professionally, it has taken many unexpected turns, some of which have been of my choosing, and others that were surprising gifts. I count my twin boys as foremost among them, along with my wonderful husband, Scott, who I feel blessed to have found and built a blended life with following our divorces. His family, now our family, has also been an unexpected, beautiful surprise and gift, and a blessing to me and my sons. However, other twists and turns in my life felt thrust upon me. One of those happened about 15 years ago. I was about 5 years into my rabbinate, and having traveled the world, was ready to find a place to settle down here in the United States and to start a family with my first husband, my ex-husband. After applying to several congregations in a few different areas of the country, I thought I had found the perfect congregation to serve in the most idyllic area in a little mountain town out west. I had stiff competition for the position of rabbi to serve this congregation, and I was overjoyed to have been offered this position. The president of this congregation actually flew out to where I was living at the time to meet me in person to tell me the details. I was absolutely thrilled and honored. In the next couple of weeks, movers came to my house to give estimates on our move from the East Coast, and we began to finalize the details. But then, seemingly out of the blue, the congregation withdrew their offer to me and decided to offer the position to someone else. I was bewildered and in tremendous shock at the time. Devastated, I began my congregational search anew and found a different congregation in Washington State, where we eventually moved and where I became pregnant and gave birth to my twin sons. A few years after I had lost the position and the life I thought I had wanted in the tiny mountain town, I realized that had my life not taken this turn, there would have been potentially devastating consequences. I had a very high-risk pregnancy with preterm labor contractions and a rare pregnancy complication that could have resulted in the death in utero or stillbirth of one or both of my babies. I spent the last 10 weeks of my pregnancy on complete bed rest at home and back and forth to the best doctors in a fantastic nearby hospital. Thank God, my sons were born healthy and safe in a wonderful NICU where they only needed to spend the first 10 days of their lives. They were born in January, in the middle of a snowstorm. The tiny mountain town I had loved so much did not even have a hospital. The nearest one was in a big city nearby, but down a winding long mountain road that often iced over when it snowed. I shudder to think what may have happened to me and to my sons if I had had that pregnancy there. Sometimes life forces us to change direction, and only later do we realize that it was in fact the path that was the one of blessing. The path we thought we wanted would not have been the right one. In this week's Torah portion, Vayigash, Joseph finally reveals himself to his brothers, and in a teary, emotional reunion says the words to them that are actually my favorite verse in all of Torah. Joseph says, "Now do not be distressed or reproach yourselves because you sold me here. It was to save life that God sent me ahead of you. God sent me ahead of you to ensure your survival on earth and to save your lives in an extraordinary deliverance. So it was not you who sent me here, but God. And he has made me as a father to Pharaoh, Lord of all his household, and ruler over the whole land of Egypt." In other words, with his greater hindsight, Joseph is able to see a grander scheme at work than his brother's malicious deed in selling him into slavery. And it is with this greater perspective that he allows himself to forgive his brothers truly for what they did to him years previously. He sees it no longer as their sin, but as God's plan to achieve greatness for all of them and to ensure their survival. This year has been a horrible one for everyone, to some degree or another. Many of our children or grandchildren are still learning virtually, unable to rejoin their schools in person due to the great increase in COVID. Many around the country are jobless, and there are lines miles long for food banks used by people who never imagined themselves in that position. And there have been over 329,000 COVID deaths in the US and over 18 million cases here. And it seems that it will be several months until the vaccines will reach everyone. It may be, sadly, months before we are able to congregate to worship together in person. We just don't know when that will be possible. We don't know, and we can't control it. It is difficult to see any bright side to this pandemic, this plague that has so altered our society and our world. I would certainly not say that this was a God-given blessing upon us. But for many of us, those whose health and families' health have not been affected, we can see a silver lining in the black cloud that has been 2020. God did not direct us here to this place of death, but God gives us the abilities we needed to find and now to manufacture the vaccine. And God provides for all of us the ability to care for one another and to find new ways to communicate now, which have opened up doors to possibilities that have made our world smaller and more accessible. We can see family and friends and include them in our life events, even when they are across the globe. And we can slow down our lives and reflect on our purpose as we learn new skills with technology we never thought possible, even 10 years ago. None of us thought we would be living the way that we are now a year ago. But this unexpected turn in our path has led to some amazing discoveries and lessons for all of us. Slow down. Count your blessings. First and foremost, your health while you have it. Relationships are primary. Never take anything for granted, even a simple hug from a friend. Robert Frost said it best when he said, "Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference." When I next speak to you from this pulpit, 2020 will be a memory. Let's not call it a wasted year. Having walked this way on our journey, let's remember the lessons and take them with us as we continue along our path. When we gather tonight after our service for our virtual oneg, which will be at 8:30, we will have the opportunity to break into smaller breakout rooms to discuss our own life journeys with one another. But for now, I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom, and may God guard our steps.
Guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Oh, guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Uthros aleinu sukat shelomecha. Uthros aleinu sukat shelomecha. my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Oh, guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps.
We continue now in our Siddur on page 586, and please rise in body or in spirit.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our lives, these are the ways we remember. At this time, we recall these whose names are on the plaque surrounding the sanctuary and whose yahrzeits, the anniversary of their passing, we commemorate at this time. Joseph Avirgan, Irving Berg, Lee Bloom, Sadie Brambrut, Raina Breadbar, Henry Brenner, Louis Chazen, Joseph M. Cohen, Harry Davidowitz, Mama Eiferman, Norma Edish, Becky Furstenberg, Lillian Gordon, Esther Gottlieb, I. Joseph Isaacson, Isaac Japak, Jane Karp, Marjorie Kramer, Philip Leiterman, Beverly Lipman, Joseph Marks, Sina Mickelson, Karen L. Moore, Lester L. Ostrov, Ida Sarah Reich, Corinne Rothenberg, Alice Samuel, Jean Schachter, Rose Sobel, Rose Turetsky, Reba Weinstein, Beeb Weinstock, Lillian G. Weiss, Herman Wolfson, and Joseph Yodowitz. Others recalled at this time: Murray Babel, Rosalinda Black, Miriam Brown, Elsie Carter, Dave Fetter, Bernice Gable, Leonard Gordon, Susan Gordon, Joseph H. Greenfield, Gertrude Gruberg, Marilyn Heller, Ernest Hirsch, Rose Hurwitz, Maury Isaacson, Grace Lichtman, Marilyn Markel, Jack Miller, Charlotte Nelson, Jack Saffer, David Savell, Esther Tamber, Sylvia Weinstein, Joel Weintraub, Ellen Bonnie Weiser, Louis Wallowitz, and Joseph Yankowitz. Those whose deaths are more recent, within the 30 days of the Shloshim period: Debbie Stevens Santaromita, Barry Sklar, Iris Schlechkorn, Stuart Krames, Ina Young, Rusty Cohen, and Manny Schechter. If you are recalling someone whose name I did not read, please say their names aloud now. And so, in their memory and in the memories of the 6 million who were murdered during the Shoah, we rise in solidarity with mourners everywhere as we recite the Mourner's Kaddish on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divarach yirutei v'yamlich machutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru, amen. Yehe shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lolmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudusha brichu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran ba'alma v'imru, amen. Yehe shalom rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all of us, to all who mourn in our community and in all of the world, and especially send peace to Israel, to which we all say, Amen. Please take a seat as we conclude our service with a final song.
Wow. Well, Rabbi Aviva, this is that time of the service where I'm about to do the closing song, and I think, oh, wow, all right. Well, this was a nice service, and I've had such a blast being here with Shabbat, being here with you on Shabbat, but we have something else coming after for those who are on the Zoom. I'm so excited for that. So I wanted to sing Hevenu Shalom Alechem for peace to all our friends, and also Hine Ma Tov. It's a little bit of a mashup, this one. And the kids love this one. If you're not familiar with it, the kids love it, which means that, you know, we want to sing it when we're on the Zoom with them, when we're seeing our family from far away. Hevenu Shalom Alechem. So... Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, our friends.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're going to take just a few minutes here because we have some friends joining us just for the Oneg in 5 minutes at 8:30. So we're going to listen to some music maybe and look at the beautiful screen and reset for the Oneg. Please stay on, though. If you're here for the service and the Oneg, please stay. We want to see you. We're going to see you. Actually, we'll be able to see each other in just 5 minutes.
Actually, we're at 4. Now we're at 4. So let's
4
let me
minutes.
think of my favorite 4-minute tunes. Hold this over here. So I think when we think about Hevenu Shalom Alechem for our crew here at Temple Sinai, and even for anybody that's tuning in for the first time to one of our services, this is another one we like to sing. So let's just pick it up a notch. Hevenu Shalom Alechem, Hevenu Shalom Alechem, Hevenu Shalom Alechem, Hevenu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Alechem. All right, friends, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Hevenu Shalom Alechem, Hevenu Shalom Alechem, Hevenu Shalom Alechem, Hevenu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Alechem, Hevenu Shalom Alechem, Hevenu Shalom Alechem, Hevenu Shalom Alechem, Hevenu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Alechem.